Hey everyone, so this video is for you if you're new to this whole yoga thing, or if you're looking to get into yoga and you want to understand its benefits. Or maybe you've heard of yoga being really healing, you took a class and then didn't understand how that class could heal in ways that have been described. So let me start out by telling you my story and how yoga has helped me. Roughly around 10 years ago, I up and moved to New York City to try out modeling. And long story short, I sucked at it. I did get to walk in New York Fashion Week a bunch of times, but it just was not enough to make a career out of it. And instead, I ended up getting sucked into New York nightlife. I manifested an amazing job at one of the best clubs in the city, which I'm so grateful for, but it did eventually turn into a dark rabbit hole for me. And this rabbit hole became an addiction because I was making a lot of money easily, but at the cost of my own health. I was going against my biological clock 4 nights a week while wearing heels, among other things. If you want to picture what this atmosphere was like, think of the movie Molly's Game, except this wasn't a poker game. This was weekly parties with some of the wealthiest people in the world. And after working in this environment for such a long time, I started to become so stressed out mentally. I was sick all the time, and unfortunately for me, I was born with a really rare heart condition known as Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. So when the stress became too much, I actually started almost blacking out at work, and I ended up in the hospital numerous times because of it. Mind you, at this time, I didn't know any of it potentially had anything to do with my heart. So to try and figure this out, I ended up going and seeing around 5 to 6 different specialists, and none of them could tell me what was wrong with me. By the time I had figured it out, I had found a holistic practitioner who had ushered me into getting into yoga. That is when I found my yoga school here in New York City, which happened to be one of the first yoga studios in the United States, founded by Guru Sri Dharma Mitra. I had gone to yoga classes before, but later realized that they were very commercialized. And I never felt what a yoga high really was by going to them, which I'll be going into in my next video, authentic versus commercialized yoga. When I really started going to my yoga school, I definitely felt like I was one of the worst ones in the class. I was clumsy, I fell into people a few times, and trying to do a headstand seemed almost impossible for me. I literally just could not comprehend it. The thought of me lifting my legs up over my head just terrified me, and for a minute, I felt like I was the only person who was consistently going to class who still couldn't do one, solely out of my own fear. But I wanted to keep trying because the teachers had kept mentioning that I would receive all these benefits from doing so. So long story short, I kept practicing, and sooner or later, I was receiving all of these benefits from yoga. When I would leave class, I would feel calm, no anxiety, and this eventually became stronger and stronger the more that I practiced. And eventually, it started to turn into these bliss states that I was reaching after class. These bliss states are essentially the yoga high that you get from practicing yoga. And because I was so used to being anxious all the time because of my heart condition and working against my biological clock and heels and sometimes drinking, I would have heart palpitations almost every single day. And I refused to take any medications or really change my lifestyle because of it, because of all the money that I was making. But yoga had opened up this whole new level of calm for me. And I noticed that the more I practiced, the less anxiety I had, the more confident I felt, and the longer I was able to stay calm in situations that I wasn't before. I used to have so much anxiety that I could not even talk on camera, which is another reason why I sucked at modeling. I didn't have the confidence, but yoga gave it to me. I started to become less reactive, and there were now spaces in between my thoughts, allowing me to think better. I also noticed that my awareness / spidey senses, if you will, increased while I was still working in this environment. For example, I would be walking down the street, and instead of staring at the trash on the ground or being anxious of everything that's going on around me, I started to notice little things, like the beauty of a random rose bush that had always been there. Or, oh, the beautiful painting on the brick wall around the corner. And then I would ask myself, wait, has that always been there? Only to notice the date on the corner that says 1990. It was like a whole new perspective had opened up for me. And this happens when you practice yoga because 1, you're stretching your muscles, releasing toxins for your body to clear out, less toxins, clearer mind. 2, creating mind-body awareness through the whole practice, becoming physically stronger with the asanas. 3, using breath work to strengthen your lungs and allowing oxygen to flow through your body. And 4, creating an even deeper awareness within yourself through meditation. So if your yoga studio is not practicing all of these things, you might solely just be working out and not actually receiving all of these benefits. Many studios in the US are like this, so if you went to a class and you didn't feel anything after, maybe it was because your teacher just wasn't as knowledgeable. Or maybe you took a very commercialized class that was repping aloe yoga and blasting hip hop music. Or maybe you just didn't go enough times to notice an imperative difference. Authentic yoga taught me balance. It taught me how to embody the most calm energy. It boosted my self-confidence by expanding my awareness. You start to see through all energies. What you heal on the inside heals on the outside. When you connect to who you truly are, a whole new world begins to open up for you. And this happens in little ways as you attend class. You focus so much on your body that you start to become aware of everything that makes you feel good and everything that makes you feel bad on a whole other degree. There's a lot of power in that. It sounds very simple, but there's actually levels to it. Our goal is to strive for bliss and peace and harmony and balance. So when you're very aware of what doesn't make you feel good, you stay away from that. You are no longer used to the pain and the suffering and the chaos. It's no longer familiar to you. You start to slowly branch out and move away from that, and you start chasing peace. Peace is no longer boring. Peace is now what we want. And that is what you start to strive for. From a true yogi, you might hear stay true to your mat, which translates to stay true to yourself. Or try this variation if it's comfortable for you, which translates to do what makes you comfortable. Or the longer you hold a pose, the more benefits you'll receive, which translates to keep pushing, keep trying, you will feel better. Or may all beings everywhere be happy and free, which translates to peace to all. Namaste, which translates to we are one. We are all on this planet together. Imagine practicing this all the time, the positive energy that you might begin to feel. And you know what happens when we feel better? We heal others. We obtain information easier. Our memory enhances. So many things get better when we feel better, both mentally and physically. We master our minds and our bodies. We start to look for more information, for more answers. Our brains are no joke. So what we decide to watch or listen to or observe, it all matters. So why not practice peace? Eckhart Tolle says that body awareness not only anchors you in the present moment, it is a doorway out of the prison that is the ego. So that's all that yoga really is. It is a practice that increases your mind-body awareness, and it dates back way before any religion even ever began. The key to achieving any of this is to practice, or find something that is your yoga. Maybe that's dancing, singing, sports, whatever it is. Maybe throw some meditation or some breathing exercises in there, and you have one heck of a practice. So I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope you're able to understand yoga and its benefits a little bit more now. I really want to dive deep into the different styles of yoga and authentic versus commercialized in my next video. There are many more things to understand, and these are things that you can't necessarily Google, so be sure to watch it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Had kept mentioning but I wanted to keep trying, and I noticed that the teachers had kept oh my god, why can't I say this? I have no idea. Okay,